So April is here, and with that comes a ton of excitement. You still have your spring practices, but around the nation, fans everywhere are prepping for spring games, hoping they get a glimpse of what their teams will look like. But today, we need to turn our attention to Tuscaloosa, where Alabama is playing host to one of the top quarterbacks in the class of 2025, and we have got to break it down. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Give me a Y for yes, N for no. Do you believe the Crimson Tide will be able to pull a top-ranked quarterback in the class of 2025? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. As those interactions seem small, they are massive to content creators such as myself. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And first and foremost, we need to talk about who. And the who is Matt Zollers from Pennsylvania, one of the top prospects in all of high school football, regardless of position. In fact, if we look at the 24/7 Sports Composite, he comes in as the number 104 player in the nation, the number 10 quarterback, and the number 2 player in the state of Pennsylvania. But he has been flying up recruiting boards. If we look at where he started in 2024, he was at number 194 on the 24/7 Sports Composite. So already he's gone up 90 spots, and I have a feeling that's a trend that's going to continue. In fact, if we look at 24/7 Sports rankings themselves, this is a top 75 prospect, and he began the year at around number 150. So he is, like I said, flying up recruiting boards. And when you turn on the film, it's incredibly easy to see why. This is a guy that can hurt you with his legs, but really looks to hurt you with his arm. As much of a threat as he is to take off and run, as much as he has that elusivity in the pocket, he's always keeping his eyes downfield, seeing how he can make a defense pay by getting them out of position. And this is something we've talked about countless times that I love seeing in a high school quarterback. Because sometimes when you have these guys that are just supremely athletic, they know that they can just win off of their athleticism. They know, hey, I can just take off and run and I can get the first down. They're not going to catch me. Heck, I can even score. But for the quarterback at this age to understand, hey, yes, I can take off running. Yes, I can get a positive gain. But if I keep my eyes downfield, if I remain disciplined in my approach, I can make a massive play happen. Maybe a defensive back starts getting out of position because I'm floating out of the pocket and they adjust to that, and I put it right over their head to my wide receiver. And that's something you see time and time again in Zollers' film. He stands 6'3.5", 205 pounds. And when I was actually watching the film, the first thing I thought of as it relates to Alabama is the word fit, because he fits Kalen DeBoer's offense perfectly, in my opinion. He has got a dangerous deep ball that he utilizes time and time again to make defenses pay, and when you mix that with his athletic ability, he's an incredibly fun quarterback to watch, one that I have no doubt we will be keeping our eyes on. But whenever you're asking why would a quarterback like Matt Zollers or Juju Lewis, who Alabama is also after, commit to the Crimson Tide, the answer is simple. Not only do you have Kalen DeBoer, who has been an offensive mastermind and has done fantastic work with quarterbacks, you have Nick Sheridan as an offensive coordinator, a former quarterback himself, someone who's also worked with really impressive quarterbacks. Not to mention, at the tight end coach position, you have Brian Ellis, and I understand he's not the quarterback coach, he's not the offensive coordinator. The only reason I bring him to your attention is because if you are a quarterback, if you are an offensive playmaker, a skill position, wide receiver, running back, quarterback, you're going to look at this offensive staff for Alabama and be really excited about what could be to come in terms of the offenses they're going to field. Brian Ellis may be the tight end coach, but when we go back and really observe his career, this is something I've talked about time and time again. He was phenomenal at Western Kentucky working with Bailey Zapp, and they put up video game numbers. Everywhere he's been and had his hand in the passing game or in the offensive play calling, that offense has massively improved. And so if you are a quarterback, you're looking at the situation saying, okay, the head coach is Kalen DeBoer. I know what he's done, not only with offenses, but with the quarterback position. Remember, he inherited a Washington team that was not good and within 2 years had them in a national championship. I know he's great with quarterbacks, but he also has Nick Sheridan, someone he handpicked. Coach Shepard is the passing game coordinator. He was the passing game coordinator at Washington, and look at the numbers they put up. And on top of all of that, the tight end coach is also someone that has been phenomenal working with quarterbacks. If that's not an enticing offer, I don't know what is. Now, this is something we have definitely got to watch because Zoller has a commitment date of April 4th, and he is currently at Tuscaloosa. He's choosing between several prominent schools. Georgia's in the mix. Penn State's in the mix. Apparently, Missouri is a team that's in the mix, but Alabama has the luxury of having a supremely gifted offensive play caller and offensive mind at the helm of the program right now. Transitioning from Nick Saban, the GOAT, to Kalen DeBoer, while it's going to be something we have to watch, also puts Alabama in an interesting position for some of these offensive playmakers. The guys that were already interested in Alabama are now looking at the situation saying, okay, now they have an offensive guy at the helm. What's this going to look like? And I know prospects everywhere have been flocking to Tuscaloosa to try and watch these practices, to try and watch these scrimmages, to get a glimpse of what they could expect from Alabama's offense. Remember, just last week, I thought it was a compelling factor that Juju Lewis came back to visit right after he'd already been on campus, but the timing of that visit. He came for Alabama's first scrimmage. To me, that was something to note because it indicated to me that he was really interested in what this offense could look like, and he wanted to see it. He's currently committed to USC. That's another quarterback that Alabama is chipping away at. But Matt Zoller is very, very gifted. And had he been a 3-star, he absolutely would have been on my list of prospects you have got to keep your eye on in terms of being a riser up the recruiting rankings. As it is, he's a 4-star and has been a 4-star, but I think we might have to make a little bit of a special exception to that list I put together every year. Because Zollers is someone who I would be shocked if he isn't a top 75 prospect in the nation when the composites are all said and done. You look at the trends, you look at how he's currently viewed from some of the top colleges in the nation and how these guys that evaluate these prospects view him. He is an incredibly gifted prospect, one we will no doubt be keeping up with and seeing where he ends up making his college decision. But it is exciting that Alabama gets him on campus and he can talk and start building relationships with a staff that we know has been superb at cultivating and maintaining positive relationships. I can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.